I'd like to talk a little bit about Stevens Innovations and some of the creative things that we're doing on the commercialization side this morning. But I look at today as really a celebration of both the engineering capabilities that you'll see in many of the companies that we're going to present today, and a celebration of the entrepreneurial spirit that was really spawned at SIT by our Technogenesis program. And we thank Hal and Christos and George for setting up this program and keeping at it. But it is really driven a world-class faculty and a thoughtful process of development that is oriented toward true solutions. And that's what engineers do. I call this place Engineers Are Us. We build things. That's what we are good at. We take technologies and we put them together to match needs of customers and applications that are not solved. And so that is the focus of Stevens. It has been the focus of Stevens for quite a few years now. Technogenesis for, I guess, over 15 years. We've had some spin-out companies, and you're going to see today a very broad range of technologies and started companies that really represent a much wider technology perspective than you would anticipate at a school of Stevens' size. And it has really taken George and others hiring in world-class people, scientists, researchers, educators, to bring this technology forward in such a complete way in so many different market segments that you'll see today. So I thank them for that. From a commercialization perspective, of course, from an investor perspective, that means deal flow. And my responsibility at Stevens is to try to capture as many of these deals as possible and to turn them into commercial entities that will ultimately have a significant return to the university. So we're going to talk today about some investment vehicles. I want to put up the proverbial, this is not an offer to buy or sell securities. This is just an information meeting. You'll hear about many of our company startups that are, I believe, investment grade. You will hear about a new organization called Stevens Innovations, which is a virtual incubator and investment opportunity for accredited investors. And so legally, I wanted to make sure that we covered our bases and had the appropriate, this is not an offer. And if you are interested, however, you should see me or one of the company presidents because many of our operations are, in fact, looking for funding. Stevens Innovations started this year, and its purpose is both as a virtual incubator to help our technologies move along faster, get them out of the university faster, and as an investment vehicle. The primary objectives are to add value to the technologies that we develop, to de-risk those technologies. Because when investors invest in university-based research, they are investing at values that take into account risk. And our objective is to kind of bridge the chasm between clear university research and a commercializable product. And that's what Stevens Innovations is really all about. We're trying to take the technology that is developed at Stevens to the next logical stage, and by so doing, increase its value, increase the interest in the number of investors we can attract, and actually get technology out of the university faster. Hire management teams that are actually capable and understanding of the markets that they compete in. So it is not a replacement for research at the university level. That continues on. It's not a replacement for much of the grant work that's done from government. It is really trying to commercialize analyze and de-risk technology. And so that brings value, and that's what this is all about. When you look at most universities, the first order of technology transfer is actually licensing. Well, now it's been shown clearly that startups within the university environment actually have 100 times the return of any other kind of licensing activity. And that's what this is really all about. Other than the blockbuster drugs, they return $750 million, or some of them even $1 billion to an institution. When you take those kinds of returns out, most institutions are not making money from their licensing activities. And so there's a great move now toward the startup actually taking technology to the next level in order to add value for pre-money values to investors coming in, and of course to attract more people to the investment. And so that's what that's all about. Stevens Innovations, as a virtual incubator helps its member organizations. What we're aiming at is actually licensing technology into the university incubator, not starting individual companies right away, actually using a low-cost model of the virtual incubator that has the option to bring in certain technologies. And that's really the key. This is not mom-and-pop kind of investments. Each of the things that we're looking at actually have market opportunities of at least $250 million, and many times well over $1 billion markets that they play in. The ownership structure of Stevens Innovations is primarily owned by the investor group that we plan to bring in. We're looking actually for $3 to $5 million to seed this operation right now, and it will then invest in a basket of technologies, some of which are Stevens-based technologies, and you'll see in a minute some of which are from other locations, other inventors. Obviously, this kind of format offers a tax advantages for those accredited investors who do come along because they get the initial losses and write-offs on their income tax, and they have the long-term benefit of playing along on the equity side at a point in time when real value is being added. Ultimately, the ownership is really split between the university, Stevens Innovations, investors, and the original inventor that created, or inventors that created, the technology. The model for all of this, let me bring this up all at the same time. The model for this is here, Stevens Innovations kind of sits in the center. We have Stevens Institute of Technology up at the top left in red. The Innovations Group, as a virtual incubator and investment vehicle, has its own investment board. It has a technology advisory board because you'll see today we look at a pretty wide breadth of technologies that we have at Stevens. In fact, we get our technologies on the left-hand side block there, both from Stevens, third-party relationships, and even from our students. And so those technologies come in. We need cash coming in. That cash is actually controlled by the independent board of investors, and so it doesn't become politically charged. It's an investment operation just like any other early stage venture capital company would be. Really what I call Technogenesis 2, and the realization of what Stevens, through its development of the Technogenesis program, was promising all along.